Now then YouTube, I am the Toffman and welcome to a mod spotlight on player beacons made by the wonderful Kihira. This allows you to have worldwide or dimension-wide buffs. Now I say dimension-wide of course because it works in different dimensions as well. It gives you dimension-wide buffs. Now I'm going to go into how to actually work this mod right now for you guys. Okay guys, we are here and I'm going to show you how to actually start crafting your way through player beacons. Now before I do this, it's really important, if you have Thaumcraft installed, this process is different. It's a lot different and I'm going to go through that later on in the video. However, if you haven't got Thaumcraft installed and you've just got this installed and other mods or whatever it is that you're using, then this is the way that you're going to go through it. You need one player beacon and at least 9 Defiled Soul Conductors to be able to actually start crafting this. So the Defiled Soul Conductors are crafted as follows. You're going to need 6 Obsidian, 2 Mycelium and 1 Eye of Ender, and that will give you 4 Defiled Soul Conductors. You also, like I said, you're going to need a player beacon, and this is going to require these Defiled Soul Conductors yourself. So, you're going to need actually 3 sets of this particular recipe. So you're going to need 6 Mycelium, 3 Eyes of Enders, and 18 Obsidian there. You're going to need 12 Defiled Soul Conductors to start you off, really. Because you're going to need 3 for this. You need 3 Defiled Soul Conductors, 2 Gold Ingots, a player beacon, well, one of these beacons, and 2 Eyes of Enders, and of course, the Nether Star. And that will get you the player beacon. Okay, so now you've got your Defiled Soul Conductors, you've got 9 of them, and you've got your 1 player beacon. What do you do with it? Well, you take your Defiled Soul Conductors, make a 3x3 area, and plonk your player beacon right in the middle of it. It shouldn't come up with this little message here. I've already got one over here, which is why it's doing that. So let me just go and whack that off there. And put your player beacon right in the center of it there. Now, it's not going to do anything. It's absolutely useless. It's not going to do anything at all. That's because it's not connected to your player. Okay? There is 2 ways to get your head. And that's what you're going to need. You're going to need to connect it to your player by placing your head on top of this beacon, this player beacon. There's 2 ways of getting it. One of them is soon to be wiped out in the case of there is a zombie that can randomly spawn around the place with your head on, and you can use an enchanted sword with the decapitation enchant to be able to get your head off that particular zombie. Or the easier way is to make the beheader. Now the beheader is crafted with 3 iron ingots, 1 eye of ender, 2 leather and 2 iron swords, and that will get you the beheader. Right. Very dangerous, guys. Make sure that you've got nothing on your character when you craft this beheader and you want to use this beheader. Basically what you do, guys, is put that in the helmet slot of your character. And let me just go ahead and get myself in a good position where I can actually show you this. Okay, I've got rid of all my stuff into a chest just there, and I've got the beheader. Basically, put this onto your helmet slot. Now be careful, because you can actually use this in multiplayer and put it onto somebody. As long as they've got nothing on their head slot, you can put the beheader onto them. So yeah, you've got to be quick to get that off if you don't want your head to get killed. So, Hagiorki has clamped a strange device clamp around your head. The device tightens as you hear it power up. Oh, and then I've been beheaded. And I'm dead. So now, it will go back to spawn, and if I go back to where I was, then I'll be able to show you what's happened. Well, there it is, look. There's my head from my last character. Luckily, right, if you're in hardcore mode, there is a way of being able to do it. I think you can type something down here. As long as you've got access to like cheats and stuff like that, you can get a head that way. But that's how you get your head. Now, once you've got your head, you go over here and you plonk it on top of the player beacon. Way, there's my face. There is my face. And if I actually do that, you can see that I've now got boosts on me. I've got a speed boost, I've got a haste boost, and I've got the jump boost as well. Now these are dimension wide. You can go around running around the place, and these will just keep replenishing themselves. Let me just go and grab, actually, there it is, a Depleted Crystal. Now as you can see, The main drawback with this is called corruption. And as corruption builds and builds and builds and builds, it will start to put some negative effects on you as a character. And there's a way of fighting this particular corruption. The way of fighting this corruption is by using these defiled soul pylons. Now, I'm going to get to that in a second, but you're going to need 4 defiled soul conductors, 2 eyes of enders, and 2 golden ingots here to get yourself defiled soul pylons. Once you've got these, guys, you can see these in the background actually, and they're stacked really, really nicely, and they look fantastic. It's really nice, a lovely multi-block structure. Now, as you can see, I've only got a level 1 beacon. It works pretty similarly to how the vanilla beacons work with the player beacons when you've got the diamond and then you put the beacon on the top. This works pretty similar. However, the way to stop this corruption, and if you hold just a depleted crystal, I'll get into how to actually craft one of these in a second, but if you hold this depleted crystal and you're looking at the player beacon, you can see the amount of corruption in there, and it's steadily rising as we look at this. But the way to do it, guys, is to get yourself defiled soul pylons and just put them in the corners. Now, you can actually go 1 level above the player beacon from the base. This is classed as the base. That is classed as a pylon. And you can go 1 level above the not the pylon. That's not classed as a pylon. That's classed as the beacon, the player beacon. So this is a pylon. You can go 1 level above the beacon. Let's pump there and there and there and there. Okay, so looking at this, you can see the corruption is still building. Why is this? Well, you're going to need to place crystals inside these pylons to stop this corruption from happening. I think at this point, I can actually interrupt myself and show you guys the recipes that are part of SolitaryCraft. Now that you've seen how to craft them normally, if you have SolitaryCraft also installed, which many people will have, then this is a way to do it, guys. As you can see, player beacons, all of these things have absolutely no recipe for crafting pylons. And the beheader, apparently, that has a recipe. But let's go ahead and get a Thaumonomicon. A cheat sheet Thaumonomicon, so you can actually see. They are in the basics tab right down here. Now, as you can see, you can only get to them as if you research dimensional theory. Once you've researched dimensional theory, you can then get the beacons, as you can see here, and it's craftable as follows. Defiled soul conductors with ender pearls, and also a player beacon in the middle. That is arcane infusion. And the defiled soul conductors are crafted as follows with obsidian, 2 ender pearls, and 3 arcane stone blocks instead. And as you can see, it tells you about the corruption and so on and so forth. And the crystals themselves, the pylon is just a normal workbench recipe. As you can see, defiled soul conductors with gold ingots and ender pearls. And the depleted crystal is an arcane workbench, this time with all the shards, a couple of ender pearls and an emerald there. And you can see the different types of crystals you can get through chucking into a crucible with a certain aspect involved in that as well, which I think is fantastic. Those are how you get the recipes. If you have SolitaryCraft installed, you will have to find the research and craft them the SolitaryCraft way. So, back to the old me, who's going to carry on with the rest of the mod spotlight. Okay guys, to craft yourself a depleted crystal, you're going to need some emeralds. And basically take your emerald, go up to your player beacon and right click. Now you can see it's just flown off somewhere there, but it will create these depleted crystals. You can see an energy from the beacon flows into the emerald, forging a mysterious crystal. And it's just popped over here somewhere. There it is, look. And it will get you a depleted crystal. Now, you're going to need these depleted crystals to be able to get yourself some of the other crystals that you're going to need to be able to craft. You can craft red crystals, light blue crystals, brown crystals, and green crystals. Red crystals are so on. Depleted crystal in the middle with rose red around there. That will get you a red crystal. As you can see, throttles buffs resistance. Light blue crystal, which is exactly like that, with light blue dye this time, and that will throttle speed. Brown crystals, which is with cocoa beans, and that throttles the dig one. And the green crystal, which throttles jump, and is used with lime dye. And basically, that's what these little holes are for inside your pylons. If I put a red one in here, a blue one in here, brown one in here, and a green one in here, and come out of creative mode, as I should have done in the first place. It will actually use those crystals, by the way, just because I'm in creative mode. As you can see, my speed boost and all of my boosts have just run out. However, if we go and grab ourselves a depleted crystal and look at the pylon, you can see that the corruption is steadily now going down. And this is a really good way, guys, of balancing the amount of corruption that you're going to be able to get with the buffs that your character will get dimension-wide. Alright guys, that over there is classed as a level 1 beacon. Much like the vanilla one, you get different levels, the amount of base that you've actually got to your beacon. So this one is classed as a level 2, and this one is classed as a level 3. And I've just gone ahead and moved my player beacon over here with my head on top of it so that I've got access to a level 3 beacon. You can get a level 4 one as well, and that will get you the top tier of sort of buffs that you can get. So as you get bigger and better in terms of these beacons, the buffs become bigger and better in itself. So let me go ahead and take all of these crystals outside here, and you can see exactly what I mean. On my person now, I've got a speed boost of 3. Now, it's a level 3 speed boost. And I can go ahead and knock this down one by placing a crystal in there. And as you can see, it's going to run out of speed 3 and then going to start on speed 2 in just 1 second. Well, 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then there we are. I'm now down to speed 2. And it works similar to this. If I put another one in, it's going to dampen this buff by another one. It's going to be only speed 1. Now, like I said, guys, the more powerful you get means the higher you can get to. You can get speed 4. And let's take this one out, and you can see what this one is. Jump boost. Jump boost 2. And so on and so forth. You can get up to jump boost 4. You can get haste. Haste 2. And so on and so forth. Up to haste 4. And then on the red one, you've got resistance. And resistance can only go up to resistance 2. Now, when you've got all of the crystals all fully in here, you will have no buffs whatsoever. But at the same time, you will have absolutely no corruption either. It's a real balancing act to get an amount of buffs along with no corruption. If you have too many buffs, so let me go ahead and take out this. So I've got resistance on me. Or I will have resistance in a short time. There it is. And also, if I go ahead and take out all of these crystals, I will end up with speed 3 as well. However, that means I'm going to end up with a good bit of corruption that's going into me as a person. And eventually this corruption is going to overspill, and I'm going to end up with a whole load of nasty side effects, of which like nausea and stuff like that. You don't want that stuff in there. So let's go ahead and place in a couple more of these. And you can see, you can actually hold just a normal one as well, but I like to hold a depleted one. You can see that the corruption is sticking at 190. So I find it... Whoop, that's speed. Is it going to go up? Is it going to go up? Nope, it's not going to go up. Resistance and speed, just a normal speed 1, gives you no corruption. No corruption at all. However, resistance is quite a powerful one to have. So let's plop them back in there. And let me take a speed out. So as you can see, no corruption. In fact, it looks like it's still going down. Let's go ahead and grab a couple of these out. So now you can see I've got speed 2 and jump boost 2. Let's have a look at the corruption just to see if that goes up or down. It's going up. So, like I said, it's a juggling thing. You've got to make sure that you're juggling the amount of what you've got actually filled up inside here to what this corruption will give you. And is that only going to go up 10, or is it going to stick at 180? I've actually got to wait for this jump boost to go down so we can actually see what's going on here. No jump boost. Now I've got jump boost. And it looks like it's sticking at 180. So these enchants, these 3 here, which is haste, jump boost, and speed, these you can have basically one of these at 2 and one of them at 1. Or you can have 1 at 1, 1 at 1, 1 at 1. If you have resistance, however, that's a little bit more powerful, and you're going to have to, again, juggle what you can have to the amount of corruption is being created. Now, by all means, you can go ahead and take all of these out and let the corruption build up and build up and build up, and then, you know, if you're only going to be out for a little amount of time, that would be absolutely no problem. But make sure, guys, you know, that if you're going to go out there for a long mining spree or whatever, that you get back in time before the corruption starts going mad and making you ill and all that kind of... You don't want it to happen. You really don't want it to happen. So let's take all of these out and I'll show you exactly what kind of side effects that you can get. Let's go and grab these. However, you also end up with tons and tons of buffs as well. So I can see, woo, this is nice. Speed 3, haste 3, jump boost 3, and resistance on top of there as well. What kind of corruption is going into us? Quite a goddamn lot. I'm going to let this corruption build up, and I'll show you guys exactly what this corruption can do if left unchecked. Alright guys, here we are. Look, I've got blind, I've got nausea, I just did have. Now, the thing is, guys, when it gets to over 5,000 corruption, it starts to damage you slightly. When it gets over 10,000 corruption is when the blindness and the nausea comes into it. And as you can see, as it hits you, the corruption, it lessens itself. If it gets above 15,000, the corruption, it will actually pull you into the end. Because... the whole premise around this mod is the player beacons. It pulls the power from the end to be able to give you this stuff. So once you get to 15,000 corruption, it pulls you into the end. So something to be wary of there. Well, to save myself from getting sucked into the end, guys, I've just gone and destroyed that as well. Now, as you can see, these have actually got a damage bar. These will last 1 real life day. Okay, so 24 hours you will get of this crystal. And as far as I'm aware, I've been told that you can actually automate these, or thinks you can automate these. So there you go. That's a good way of doing it. So this is Player Beacons, guys. I really hope that you'll have some fun trying to find out, you know, what kind of thing goes best for you. You can actually, like I said, guys, edit all these things to exactly so you get no corruption and you can just wander around the world with a particular buff or with a few particular buffs, you know, simmered down a little bit. So, like for instance, this one here, this is the jump boost one. You could actually have a jump boost 3 with absolutely nothing else, with everything else, you know, got crystals in to, you know, stop the buffs. You can go around with the jump boost 3 all day with no corruption. You can have a jump boost 2 and a speed 1 all day, no corruption. But if you want to be risky, if you want to take that risk and have a jump boost 2 and a speed 2, the corruption will go up relatively slowly, but it will go up. Just remember, guys, that you can come home after a mining day or whatever it is. If you've only had a little bit of corruption, then you can come in, stick a few crystals in, and allow the corruption just to dissipate again before going out again another time. So that is Player Beacons, guys. Any questions at all? And Kihira, if you're watching this, if I've missed anything out, then please do put in the comments below, and so people know. I don't think I've missed anything out. I think I've pretty much got everything in this mod. And there's a lot of things that apparently coming in the future as well, she's told me about. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that. Player Beacons, guys. Go and check it out. Link is in the description below. And tell Kihira I said hi. Till next time, guys, I've been the Toff Man. Thanks very much for watching. And as always, stay safe.